They don't understand the word cowboy. You didn't call an English gentleman boy. You didn't call a Spanish aristocrat boy. Well, who do you think you call boy? Who do you think you call boy? You dream of things that never were, and then you try and do it. People say, how you dream all this sort of stuff up? I guess it's part of my life when you grow up alone. I never knew about how I was born, but they told me the biological mother had come in the night and left me there at her doorstep. Being different, because I was light-skinned, I had red hair and swamp green eyes. You see, I'm a minority of the minorities, and so they were always challenging me about something. But whatever life deals you, you got to play the cards. The lady that raised me, she said, the Lord made you just like he did anybody else. And you don't have to be ashamed of yourself. And you're just as good as anybody. And so don't you never forget that. Now, maybe a lot of folks don't like what I look like. You know, I can't help that. I can't change me. I wouldn't if I could. Today, my name is known throughout the world. But let me tell you, it wasn't always like that. It certainly wasn't like that here. The general population didn't know that there was such thing as black cowboys. I'm not doing anything that nobody hadn't done before. They don't understand the word cowboy. You didn't call an English gentleman boy. You didn't call a Spanish aristocrat boy. Well, who do you think you call boy? Who do you think you call boy? And the way that cowboy come about was little slave boys herding cattle. That's the way it came about. And that meant that there was always black cowboys. When the fiction West came along, the Lone Ranger and Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and the fiction West, they just took him out, period, like he didn't exist. But that's the way it was. They always somehow get it wrong. They get it wrong, and by getting it wrong like that, it builds hatred, and it builds animosity. It builds all sorts of things. When you do that, that's when the trouble starts. That's when the trouble starts. When I got into the military, we went to Tombstone. Somebody said, well, let's go into the town. And we don't want to go into town because they're going to tell us, they don't serve Negroes in here. Fella stepped up, what kind of help are you fellas with? Damn, Jesus, man, we didn't know what to say to that. And nobody ever mentioned the color of your skin in Tombstone. That stayed with me all the years. And so when I got out of the military, I come back to Arizona. Cowboy life is honest living, it's hard, it tests you all the time. A lot of the cowboys not around anymore. Big ranches, they were built by somebody long ago in the past, or some of their ancestors someplace, and they didn't have to do what I did, because they were already built from them, that's passed on. I was a dreamer. I reckon I still am a dreamer, so I don't suppose that's gonna ever change. But the town took on an atmosphere, and everybody likes to come here. Everybody feels that way. They walk in and say, well, we feel at home in Kilako. I've heard that thousands of times. And I tell them, you're always welcome in Cowtown, Kilako. You think that is your home, or you're home away from home. You'll always be there. And I like that. I like that. I hope y'all say that when I'm passed on. Say, well, yeah, we knew him. We knew him. They asked where you're gonna be buried, so I'll be buried here on this land. I sure will be. If you don't do that, I told him I'm gonna come back and hunt y'all. I'm gonna hunt you. I'm gonna hunt you. I'm gonna do that. I wanna hunt you.
We're going to be talking about the rodeo. Now, wait a minute. Before you say, well, that's not a serious issue, perhaps.
Part of the problem is that African-American history has been marginalized, and it's not known, and it's not taught. The original African-American cowboys started in East Texas and East Oklahoma during slavery.
Open this museum because I want what they did to go in vain. And what they did was so incredible, and the books have been wrong.
Each one of you are making history.
Is this anybody's first rodeo? Y'all are in for a thrill.
He tried to show out. Yeah.
It's just like anything else in our world. People exist, but they don't exist to others. And so the black cowboy existed, but they didn't exist.
I'm awful sorry that you didn't make it way out here, because you've been missing some times in the real old West, and you'd hear some stories sort of resounding back, and we'd have loved to see you. We hope that we're going to see you soon. Until that time, you don't take no wood nickels. Don't take nothing. Don't take any kind of nickels. And if somebody insults you, you rearrange his head. And also them portions between his legs, rearrange it. Stand your ground. Stand your course. That's from Edward Keylock.
From the hate to the heartache, I can't relate from the streets to the projects. I'm going insane if I don't make a change. I want it so bad.